Hey, good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? This your boy Rob Thomas Jr. from the Real News Behind the News. Yeah, today is Monday, February 18th, 2019. And in this video here, we basically just want to touch bases on what it is our mission here is at the Real News Behind News and what we do. We understand that on YouTube there's an emphasis on getting the views and likes, especially if you want your videos monetized. But in a sense, if y'all notice, we really don't care about the views or the like, because we want the people who take the time to view our videos to get real content, to get informed as opposed to being entertained. Now, we could get up here on the Real News Behind News and talk about a lot of fringe issues. When I say fringe issues, that means the things that you hear the mainstream media telling you every day. This is the top story of the day in entertainment news, and sports news, in local news, and state news, and national news, and headline news. You got your mainstream media putting a specific narrative out there that they want you all to believe, because that narrative that they're putting out there is one that's controlled and dictated. They're actually putting out there on a daily basis, sometimes all day, the stories that they really want you focusing on to distract you from the stories that you really should be asking questions about. Like, just take for instance, I'll give you two examples. Right now, two of the biggest issues that people are talking about is Trump, his wall, and then that boy Jesse, the gay dude from Empire. Now let me show you two things about this. First and foremost, Donald Trump and his wall. While they had everybody in America on pins and needles, people not knowing how they're going to get paid, talking about $5 billion for a wall. Do you realize the first bill that your Senate put up on the floor to be voted on was a bill to give Israel $38 billion. We sitting around here in America tripping off Donald Trump and $5 billion while they were distracting you with that for the fact that they were finna they gave Israel, because they put that bill up for a vote 3 times now. While our government was shut down here, American taxpaying citizens, American workers, American citizens was not getting paid. The first bill that they brought up in the Senate this year didn't have nothing to do with the border wall, didn't have nothing to do with federal contractors getting back pay, didn't have nothing to do with furlough workers, federal furlough workers getting paid, didn't have nothing to do with your infrastructure here in America, nothing with the water here in Freeport or Flint or nowhere else. It had nothing to do with the homeless people in America. But the first bill that they bring up for passage in the Senate is to allow our government, you and I, taxpaying citizens, to pay $38 billion to Israel, while they sitting over here having you distracted by a wall. And Israel is taking that money, buying weapons to continue to murder the Palestinians wholesale, man. They killing these folks. I bet you 3/4 of the people in America don't even know that just in the last 3 years, in the last year and a half, in the last year, them folks done slaughtered, literally murdered over 6,000 Palestinians and injured with live ammunition damn near 40, 50 to 100,000 people. Now, how does that affect you as here in America? It affects us as black people definitely on a day-to-day basis, because do you realize those heavily militarized police that you see in your neighborhood are being trained by retired members of the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, using the same tactics that they used over on the Palestinians? So if you're not paying attention to global issues, you know what I'm saying, you'll never understand really what's going on in your neighborhood. You cannot put a puzzle together just by looking at one piece. You have to look at the whole bigger picture Formulate that in your mind. Look at it, watch it, concentrate, and focus on the bigger picture. And all the pieces of the puzzle are fit in. So we talk about the wall here in America, $5 billion, but they went behind our backs and passed the bill. Not only, now think about this, not only did they pass that bill to give Israel $38 billion while they got Democrats and Republicans and liberals and conservatives here in America arguing by the wall, they just gave Israel $38 billion to continue to build a wall and wall off the Palestinians. And at the same time in that bill, don't you know they made it illegal for you to boycott Israel? Don't you know if you're a federal contractor or you looking to get a federal contract or a city or state contract in Texas or 26 other states, you got to sign a pledge saying that you will not boycott Israel in a means of protesting against what they're doing to the Palestinians. Do you realize you can criticize your president, your governor, your senator, your congressman, your next door neighbors, your baby mamas, your mama's sister? You can criticize anybody in the world, but you cannot say nothing about Israel legally, publicly. And now you got people like Cory Booker, this black dude who's supposed to be the champion for black people, telling us now that you can't even really say nothing in public against Israel, or you automatically going to be considered an anti-Semitic type person. And they're actually trying to make it where they can actually press criminal charges now if you speak out against Israel. But we worried about a wall. Also here in America right now, you got this thing going on with the gay dude from Empire, Jesse Smollett, whatever his name is. He supposed to got beat up, said it was a hate crime. It was some Donald Trump people with Make America Great Again hat on. They beat me up. They didn't like me. Then they put a noose around my neck. Come to find out, it was two of his gay partners. Cause to me, it sounds like I don't even follow the story. I haven't been following it and won't follow it because that LGBTQ and soon to be pedophile, it'll be LGBTQP. In a minute. Why? They're going to include pedophilia into that. But that whole community does not have the best interests of the black community at heart. First and foremost, anything that is anti-life is anti-creator. And I don't want to offend any members of the LGBT community. Hey, do what you do. You know, I don't have a problem with what two grown-ups do in the privacy of their own home. But stop pushing that shit in the schools, man. Because I got to send my son to public school. I don't want y'all teaching him that in school. But we as black people have to understand now it's being forced and indoctrinated into our children at a young age, starting at your schoolhouse now. Whereas it's acceptable, you cannot say that that's gay. You know, you cannot say that. Nah, I'm not going to do that because it's not cool for two men to hug like that or even kiss each other. So, again, not judging the people in the LGBT community, but at what point do I stop having to live your life? At what point can I teach my son to grow up to be a man? You see what I'm saying? Now, they got you all focusing on Jesse Smollett. Come to find out this dude was lying all the time. It seemed to me like he had a gay fantasy that he acted out in real life. And it went wrong some way or whatever he used to try to get publicity, but come to find out the dude was lying. While they got y'all distracted with Jesse, do you realize now that not only are they continue to push that anti-life movement, the LGBT community, on our people, but now they're getting to the point where you had 3 states in just the last 3 weeks try to pass an abortion bill saying that you can abort a baby that's 9 months in a woman's womb. She's in her 3rd trimester. The baby is due to come out right now, and they're saying that you can actually, they trying to pass laws where you can actually abort that baby. But we worried about Jesse and all this. What about all these little kids that's dying mysteriously in these hospitals or that's coming up missing? Do you think that might have something to do with the organ trade? The sale of your vital organs? This is why they trying to kill them babies at 9 months conceived in the womb, coming out the womb at 9 months. They're saying now they're trying to pass legislation that you can actually kill these babies at 9 months. And even the people that create the law say, well, once the baby is taken out the womb, as long as he's in good shape, we can sell his organs. But they got us focusing on this gay shit with Jesse. You know, but again, hey, if y'all like to be entertained, hey, I don't knock you, man. But we giving you real information. They putting our kids in these penitentiaries. They're promoting this gay and lesbian agenda. They're promoting abortion in our community at an unheard of record number rate. Plus, we are killing each other at record numbers. All four of those things have one thing in common: the inability to reproduce your numbers, replenish your people. And that's what we're looking at. We're looking at anti-life agendas. But they got us worried about, entertained about Jesse, who had two big old buff dudes beat him up, put a noose around his neck, slap him and spank him and smack him up, flipped him and rubbed him down. Oh no! Whatever. Jesse played the game, and half America is watching Jesse but not watching what they're doing for us legislation in your state for us abortion, gay and lesbian rights. And again, I'm not knocking nobody, but come on, man. The LGBT community in the last 9 to 10 years, they got way more legislation passed in their favor than black people have in the last 400 years. You see what I'm saying? The immigrants that's coming over, they got you fighting amongst each other. Yeah, we need a wall. No, we don't need a wall. The immigrants are good people. They coming over here. Let me tell y'all the reality. I'm just keeping it real. And I do agree with Trump on this. Those people coming from Central and South America are not the best and brightest. If they walking all the way from Central America to America, they're not brain surgeons. They're not rocket scientists. They're not cancer researchers. They're not the best and brightest of society. But guess what happens when they get here? See, this whole thing here is really about corporations. It's bigger than your president. It's bigger than just border security. No, the corporations need these immigrants to flood America so that they can drive down wages, man. You know, some might say that they coming in taking jobs away from the black community, which in reality is true, but it's done in a way that they'll come here and a job that's $25 an hour. They paying you $25 an hour to do this job you've been doing for 30 years. Now these immigrants come over, they wouldn't do that job for 10. So you automatically drop, you know what I'm saying, half of that salary that you normally would have made, because they coming over here doing it for $10. Job that was $15 an hour now is $8. You see what I'm saying? It's a plot and a ploy by the major corporations to flood the country with cheap labor. But also it's a plot by the Democrats because they don't have a platform. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, liberal, conservative, socialist, fascist. I don't believe in none of that, but I do understand what's going on. The Democrats cannot win an election because they have no platform outside of hate Donald Trump. And it's not working for them. So what they have to do is allow these immigrants to come in, eventually fix it some kind of way where they can get IDs and go vote. If you getting food stamps, if you getting free health care, if your kids able to go to school, you might get some welfare. You might get all these social benefits given to you by a Democratic Party that wants you to stay submissive and stay dependent on them. Who you think they're going to vote for? Yeah. And I'm just saying it like this, and I'm going to be through. The Democrat got them some new niggas, and it's called the Mexicans, the Hispanics, the Central and South Americans. Black people getting pushed out everywhere we go. But we want to be entertained rather than informed. Hey, man, I've been rambling on. You know, I got to get up. I actually didn't have to get my son ready for school this morning. They out for a couple of days, which means I got to hang around him for the next 3 days. It's going to be interesting. I just posted a little video with me and him. That's my little rider. But I said all that to say this again. Here at the Real News Behind the News, If you want to be entertained, yeah, we'll eventually put the comedy aspect back into our videos, and we'll get, do them like we used to do on Facebook, make you laugh or whatever. But we're going to always seek to inform you over entertain you, because entertainment, man, is a way of escaping reality. But at some point, you're going to have to face that reality. Again, look what's going on in Venezuela. How does that affect you in Idaho or in Mormontown, Utah, or fucking Omaha, Nebraska, Detroit? How does that affect you? If you got kids in the military or you are military age, this has the potential to blow up. Well, you got another Vietnam. We really finna look at another Vietnam right before our eyes in Venezuela, in Colombia. They ain't even telling you that they've been in Somalia for 28 years. Yeah. They're not telling you what's really going on in Yemen, Syria, and how all that affects you and your children. Because again, if you got children of military age, they the ones got to go over there and get their legs blowed off to fight these illegal wars for gold, diamond, and silver, for rich businessmen to prosper and capitalize off of. Hey, Real News Behind News. We're going to bring you information. We're going to tell you the real news behind this fake mainstream propaganda. We might not get the likes or the views. We don't do it for the likes or views. We do it to educate and empower all God's people, but in particular the black community. Here in America, we're the only people, the blacks in America, we're the only people that don't have a culture, man. They're giving you a culture through your music, your video games, your television, your radio, and everything that they're giving you speaks of death, violence, sex, destruction, disease, decay, mayhem. This is the culture that we have embraced. It's gotten to the point where we would rather, again, be entertained than informed, because we don't want to know what's going on outside of the rest of the world. As long as Jesus blessing us, we don't care about the 10,000 babies that died just in the last 4 years in Yemen. The 80,000 people that have been murdered in Yemen, not including the 3-4 million in Iraq, Syria, and Afghanistan. All these deaths at the hands of the United States military for the corporations. So that's why we rather inform you than entertain you, man. So if nothing else, you can just go to your senator, your congressman, and say, look, man, stop all these illegal wars, man. Stop all this spending money on foreign governments like Israel when we got infrastructure problems, we got poverty problems, we got all these problems, homelessness here in America. How dare you send $700 billion worth of weapons to Saudi Arabia and then send $38 billion to Israel? But y'all telling us y'all fighting behind 5-point-something billion behind a wall. You can take that money that you just confiscated from El Chapo and build your wall. But why is it that you're still sending money to these foreign governments, man, when you got people right here that you can't even take care of, that you don't want to take care of, basically? You got money for war but can't feed the poor. Hey, y'all be blessed.